now I'll come back to this idea of language model. What is language model? There are many ways that you talk about, but typically there are two things. In an ASR kind of a problem, we ask, or automatic speech recognition, we ask what's the probability of a, so these X's are now words, okay. So when I'm talking about language modeling, so forget about the MFCC vector speech and all that. Now I'm talking about text, okay. So in text also, I've assumed that I've come from the phonemes to the lexicon, so I've come to words, okay. So here we are only going to talk about words, okay. For the next whatever this whole lecture, I am only talking about not about the spoken part, but about the written part, the text, right. So written not in handwriting, but the way it is manifested in written documents and so on, okay. So so it's not a handwriting recognition problem, again that is like speech recognition. Here, what is it about the language, like what sequence of words make sense and so on, right? That is the idea we are trying to attack here, okay. So one way to ask is, if I give you a sequence, if I give you a sentence, for right, that's a sequence of, so you can see slowly I'm introducing this idea of sequence, right. So when I'm talking about sequence of words, what is the probability of the sequence of words? What do you mean sequence? Probability of sentence. What does it mean, probability of sentence? We'll try to see what that means. Or conversely, I can ask a related question, and the question is, given that I have some 10, I have spoken, or I have 5 words, right, and like fill in the blanks, okay, the last word is not known, right. So can you tell me what that last word will be, right? So if I give you a sentence with 5 words or something, and then one blank is left, right? Now that what is that last word is basically depends on so many things. You're right. If I'm doing a science exam, you will say, hey, I have to read the whole textbook. I can predict what is happening, right? So you are doing language modeling, right? So you have say it's a science exam. So you have mugged up the whole book, right? And therefore, when I say these 5 words from the book, this is what the term should be, and you're filling it. Okay, you're essentially doing language modeling. You are saying with a high probability, I recollect. So you have internalized that language model capability, the training part, and you from all that learning of the textbook, you figured that this is the most probable things. Sometimes if the teacher has not framed the question properly, there is an ambiguity, you don't know, and then you come out of the exam and you fight with your fellow students. Hey, I think this is what she or he meant. No, I think this is, so then you are scared. Hey, did I do properly or didn't I do properly? But it's basically a language modeling problem that you are trying to address, right? So basically again we go back to Bayes. So there's only one thing, if you know Bayes rule, pretty much all of these things get sorted out, okay. So if this is the joint probability, right, and of the capital T words. So we are assuming there are capital T words. Remember, now we are only talking about words, right. So if we know that, by using this conditional probability basically theorem, that so I can condition, so given x1, right, so I start from the reverse, right. So given the last guy, this and this xt to xt minus 1 multiplied by x1 to xt minus 1, right, that now that becomes xt minus so I should, so this guy is equal to this guy multiplied by this conditional, right, probability of x1 xt minus 1 to xt, but xt minus 1 itself I can write as probability of xt minus 1 given xt minus 2, and if you keep on doing it, you will get this whole set of terms, okay. So if you it's the same, it's a recurrence relationship. If you look at this and this, right, then this portion we have to multiply as only these guys, that again will be xt minus 1 conditioned on, and then xt minus 2 conditioned on, and so, and finally x2 conditioned on 1, and x1 it has no history, so that is what we stop at, right. So or if you look at these two, what is this? This is a joint, right. So this is x2 given x1 multiplied by x1, so this is a joint of probability of x1 and x2, right. So this is the joint probability of the T words to observe, or this is the conditional, given that the previous T minus 1 words, what is the probability of the Tth word, right? Having observed x1 to xt minus 1, what is the probability of the Tth word? So both of these are related, right, through this basic idea, okay. So Sorry, I shouldn't have shown you this. Okay. Okay. Now, remember where does, so let me take the example of speech recognition, because we are always talking about speech. I keep saying that not only do we use this language model ideas in speech recognition, we use it in many other areas. Okay. So I'll take the example of speech. Okay. So remember, what have I achieved till now? You gave me a speech signal. From the speech signal, I do this GMM, HMM, and I get a sequence of sounds. From the sequence of sounds, which are phonemes, I go and look up at the lexicon, and from the lexicon, I get the sequence of words. So this is what we have sort of figured out over the last, let's say, 10 lectures, right? So now that we have the sequence of words, right, there is sometimes a confusion. Okay. So now I'll repeat two sentences, and just tell me if I have said something differently. So it's fun to recognize beach. It's fun to recognize speech. So you see that the sequence of sounds seem very similar, right? It's fun to recognize speech. It's fun to recognize beach, right? So the sequence of phonemes or the sounds seem to be very similar. Okay. In fact, they will almost be similar when you see it. Now, what happens is, was there any difference? I kept repeating two sentences. Did I say the same sentence twice, or did I say some completely two different sentences? Okay. Depending on your hearing, right, you may have figured out that they are two different sentences, or you might say that I just said the same sentences, but probably you didn't hear it properly, and so that is what you mistook, but actually they are same sentences. Okay. But if you look at it, one of the sentence is much more probable in everyday conversation compared to another. Okay. What I said was, it is fun to wreck a nice beach. Okay. So you are on the beach and you wreck it, you go and take a spade and do something and mess up the whole beach, then it's fun. But your kids, or you go with your friends or something, and you get a thrill out of the whole thing, right? So it's fun to wreck a nice beach. Okay. Or the other one is, you are building a good speech recognition system, right? So you want to do, hey, I can do better than Google or Amazon or Alexa and all these things, right? So then you'll say it's fun to recognize speech, right? I mean, I have this, it's fun, no? I mean, I can build such a good system. It's really thrilling, and I come up with a better product than somebody, right? So that in that way also you can talk about, right? So that is the point we are trying to say here, right? But when you look at it, the sounds, the acoustics, the phonetics, the phonemes that come out, right, they sound very similar, right? So now you will get equally probability of both of these sequences of words being similar, but now that is only from the information that you got from the speech signal, right? That is coming from the acoustics part, from the speech signal part, right? Now we are going to use the idea of the language itself, right? From the speech signal, you figure that both of these seem to be very likely kind of sentences, okay? Because if you didn't have any other information, you don't know. But let us say you know a lot about English, right? So if you know a lot about English, you would say that very rarely do people say this sentence. It's more probable that this was what was meant. Okay, if there's a confusion, you will go with this guy as a choice compared to this guy, right? How did you decide that? You have internalized over many years the idea that probably the first one is what most often people might have said, right? The second one, I have never heard of anyone say that. Maybe now that somebody has mentioned it, maybe, but I have never heard it, so I'll go with the first one, right? The same idea is what language modeling is all about. So what we do in language modeling is, we go through huge amount of text, we scrape the entire web, take all kinds of textbooks, newspaper articles, novels, everything, look at all the text and try to find out how often or what is the probability of this sequence of words occurring compared to this sequence of words. This is exactly what we have been talking about here, right? So this is exactly what I talked about here, right? So we are talking about what is the probability of the sequence of words, right? So so that I can compute by this probability, and we'll come to how we get this probability. So we are comparing two sequence of words and saying which sequence of words is more likely, right? And that is exactly what is happening here, right? So, which of these two are more likely to have done, and this is the effect of the language model, nothing to do with the speech signal, right? It is from the speech signal you have come up to this point. Now there is still confusion, and so you are getting extra knowledge by using all the text in that language, right, and seeing which sequence of words is more probable. Okay. So, and language model has many applications. Okay, so you even if you look at if you look at Microsoft Word or any of these text processing word processing software, right? So if you write he was 15 minutes late, right? That seems sane. But if minutes instead of minutes, if I spell it as minuets, right? Minuets or something, right? I think that means the small towers, right? In the mosque and all that you have, no, those side towers. I think they are called minuets, I think, right? So am I? You have to figure it out. But some mistake you make, right? Then the software sort of, or Microsoft Word or something, will put some red underline or something saying, hey, be careful, right? How did it figure out that you made a mistake, right? Because it's using this idea of language model again. This he was 15 minuets, that kind of spelling, that kind of word never occurs. Minutes seems more probable. So it is again that language model has been put into the software, and the software is warning you that maybe you made a mistake, right? Or even when you type on Gmail and Google, it's actually sometimes corrects, puts the and all that, right? How does it know that? It is basically some kind of a language model, right? So all that has been learned over many billions of sentences, and they have figured it out, right? Google is one of the best language models, so to speak, right? At least for English. Or if you say something like they signed the peace, PIECE treaty. Okay, so peace means cutting it into pieces, right? Treaty, right? But normally when you talk about a treaty between countries, right, it is peace, right? You want peace. There's no, we don't want all this wars and all. We peace is such a nice thing to have. Humans can live their lives and we can progress, but so they signed the peace, PEACE is the correct spelling. So again, Microsoft, any of these softwares will warn you and tell you that there's something wrong, right? So these are all manifestations of a language model, right? Of course, things like machine translation, question answering, next word prediction, text, there are hundreds of NLP problems that deal with it, and language models are an important aspect of it. Okay, so now I will come to how language model, like I talked about this example of it's fun to recognize speech versus it's fun to recognize speech. So language model is an important part of GMM, HMM based automatic speech recognition. And the way it comes is, I'll just explain to you. There I told you in overall terms what it's trying to do. Now we'll just give a mathematical basis how these things come. Okay, so what is the basic idea in speech recognition? The basic idea in speech recognition is you give me a speech signal, right? Given the speech signal, I have to give you what is the text. That is the idea of speech to text, right? Speech. And once you get the text, right? So if I'm calling a call center and say, hey, I am very, I think my, you have incorrectly charged me for something, right? So when you speak, you don't, you want an automated system that looks at what the question is. Okay, this has to go to accounts, this has to go to something, this is, oh, my line is not working, so then maybe it's some, repair division. So you can automate a lot of this by figuring out what the text is, right? So all of this is basically trying to cut out the human effort, but it's in a good way, right? See, humans tire, right? So some of these boring jobs, right? So he'll keep it off the cradle. This line is engaged, this and queen, it'll keep going because some humans, tire and they don't cooperate, so they'll keep it. So half the time you call customer service, you may not get the customer, right? But if you have an automated system, it doesn't tire. It's going to run 24/7, right? So sometimes these things are good, right? So what is the basic idea of speech recognition? Speech recognition basically means I give you speech signal, right? And you want to give me the text, the sequence of words, right? And so I am going to look for the sequence of words that is given the space, given the speech signal, which text sequence best sequence of words best experiences, right? That is the basic idea, right? And so then again we are going to take the usual idea and say that I can write this probability of the word sequence given the speech signal is nothing but probability of the speech signal given the word sequence times the probability of the word sequence divided by the probability of the speech, right? This denominator is, so now what are we going to do? We are going to do for every one of them, we are going to, for every word sequence in the world, right? So I can say I am going to, some of them will not, it's not an incorrect sentence, it's a half broken sentence, but the cat sat on the mat, the cat ate the rat, the cat jumped around on the wall. So many things I can say. That is all these word sequence. Among all these word sequence, given the speech signal, which is the one that is best explaining? That is why the argmax is. So I have to look at all word sequence. Conversely, I can write it as given a particular word sequence, what is the likelihood of these speech signal being observed, okay, right? And then what is the probability of this word sequence itself, right? So now slowly you are going to see that I'm using two terms set here. This is the given a word sequence, what is the likelihood of that having generated the speech signal. But when you talk about speech signal, we are not talking about speech. We have now become experts, right? After so many lectures, given a speech signal, what do I always do? I extract features. What are those features? Every 25 milliseconds, I take the log MEL filter back. So the speech signal will get replaced by a sequence of MEL filter bank feature vectors, the 80 dimensional O1, O2, O3, O100, whatever it is, right? Given that and given a particular word sequence, and what is the probability of that word sequence itself? That we know. What is the term? We have talked many times in the last 2-3 slides. So what is this probability of a given word sequence? How do you find that? That is going to be given by the language model, and this one is called the likelihood of the acoustic signal of a particular sequence of sound phoneme sequence of MSC MEL filter bank vectors given a word sequence, and that is basically what we call as the acoustic model, okay. So this, how are we capturing this? This is essentially what we are going to do using the acoustic model, right? That is what am I observing? I am observing only the MEL filter bank coefficients. The hidden states are what? The hidden states are basically your phonemes. From the phonemes, I am going to get the words through the lexicon. So that part is captured here, okay. Now for this is for given word sequence, I am assuming that word sequence, and how likely is that word sequence to have generated this particular sequence of MEL filter bank features, okay. So this is actually a search problem, because for every word sequence I have to do, right. So and then I am going to find out the one sequence of words that is most probable, right. So it is a computer science problem, so which is there are many techniques to do these things, okay.